It's now been around a month since Amazon started blocking some third-party apps, and then subsequently after that, Google started blocking some third-party apps. So I wanted to do a little update roundup video, not just talking about what happened and what you can expect, but also if there's any fixes for it yet and any other updates regarding the subject. So if you don't know, I go by UG Tech and I try to help people like you save money on streaming services and learn about their devices. So if you enjoy these kind of videos and you also want to learn how to save money, make sure to subscribe down below. You're going to want to stay to the end of the video because there is now a method for stopping Amazon from blocking what you can install on your device. So again, watch the full video. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a pretty big update. So this all started back in June, so I guess it's been a few months now. Time flies. I can't believe it's already September. But Amazon blacklisted two very popular apps, FlixVision and LiveNet. And what this means is you started to get this pop-up that said, hey, you should uninstall this app. But even if you press keep, it would not work. Like you still wouldn't be able to access it. Now, there was a ton of rumors and speculation. Obviously, these are third-party apps that probably don't hold the correct licensing right. So, of course, it was assumed they were going after pirated apps. And that's a pretty good assumption because Amazon wants to make as much money as possible, and they're also content owners, so they want to protect all of their assets. But it seemed like that wasn't the full story. Now, I'm still convinced that's the main reason why they did it. But the other rumor was that it was related to, let me refresh this page here. It was related to malware being embedded inside of the application. And this was a way of the creators basically monetizing it in a way, very malicious, stealing data, all of that. But what they noticed is once that malware was removed, the app was now installable and usable. Now, the reason why I wasn't convinced still is because they probably block, from what I know, they block apps based on like the root file names and the install package names. So even changing that name might necessarily stop the blacklisting. So even if they did that without removing the malware, it still might work. And on top of what you have to think of is, yeah, these are third-party streaming apps, but why are these the only ones being blocked? There are hundreds of thousands of apps out there, and tons of them with malware. So to just see it on these apps was a very interesting thing. But that was the main thing people were worried about. And with Vega OS coming out soon, it makes sense. But then this happened right after. Google will start blocking unverified side-loaded apps. So long story short, basically what Google is going to do, if we go to this other article, they are going to block you from installing side-loaded apps. Now, Kodi is an official application, so that's not as big of a worry. But things like, those other apps we were talking about with Amazon, what they're going to do is they're going to need the developer to now register for a Google developer as a Google developer. And you can still sideload the app, but they basically need to have the install package, even if it's empty, just so they know what it is and they can bring it back to the owner. And the reason why this is sketchy for a lot of people, it's like, well, a lot of these developers don't want all their information out there, right? They want to stay behind the scenes, which makes sense because some of these guys aren't necessarily running the most legal apps, you can say. So it's a way of Google also registering it. So it's going to be through Android Developer Console and registering the developer's identity. This is probably going to be done through some sort of like license and address check and maybe a passport, something like that. There's a ton of different ways to do this, but that is basically the way it's going to be, and that's going to be through government apps. Now, this is not starting off in every country. It is going to be coming to Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand, which are all, funny enough, countries where a lot of these apps and IPTV services are run. I don't know if that's a coincidence or they're just like, hey, this is a good market to start it off with to see if it's going to be successful. But they said they're going to roll out the requirements globally into 2027 and beyond. And they have not yet stated if users will be able to bypass these restrictions. I'm assuming no. Like my guess would be they're not going to go through all this hassle just to have an Android setting in there where you can say, no, I'm good. But what I think will happen is there'll probably be an exploit like there is now with Fire TV. So if you're worried about your Fire TV device, if you have a Fire Stick with Fire OS 7 or 8, you can now do this exploit that's going to allow you to stop updates from Amazon and also stop them from blacklisting apps, which is obviously very useful. So now you'll be able to use your Fire Stick forever without having to worry about those two things. So here's the exploit right here. Let me show this to you guys. So this was actually created by two guys. I think he gives them a thank you at the end of his video. I don't know what their name is. I think, did he put their name down here? No, I don't see their name. But anyways, two guys, they're developers, and they created an exploit. And now you can get even side launchers now, side loaders, or yeah, launchers. You can now even install launchers on your Fire TV device again, which, as you know, is one of the applications that Amazon started blacklisting because it takes away from ads on their front page. So his method is actually really simple, and I'm not going to walk through the whole thing right now, but it basically involves you installing Launch Manager, where you can now disable firmware, disable Amazon app blacklisting, and system app protection. And it's actually a pretty easy process. Basically just involves you going through a few settings on Fire TV device, installing the apps off of TroyPoint. You need a PC or an Android device, Mac, laptop, it'll all work. And you basically just enter a command prompt. I'll kind of show you what it is. So something like this right here, you enter this command prompt on your PC with an ADB, with a connection to your device. So there's a system link connection, ADB link. That's going to link your two devices. It's going to send this command to your Fire TV device. And that is then going to allow you to use Launcher Manager and disable the settings. It honestly only takes, once you watch the video from TroyPoint, which I'll link down below, 10 or 15 minutes to go through, and you're good to go. And once you block firmware updates, they really can't do anything about it. Like, that device is yours officially. Now, will you miss some security updates by Amazon? Potentially, yes. And this only works on, Fire TV Cube 3 and like the newer Fire Sticks, and maybe the year before with Fire OS 7. So none of the Fire OS 6, which would be, I think, like the first 4K model and a few others. But yeah, very important information. I just wanted to update you guys on all that. I know it was a bit of a quick video, and we were kind of just walking through some of the updates, but I wanted to make sure you know that this exploit will work on that Amazon sideload blocking. So for those of you that missed that video from me, and I'll link my video down below too, it's just a quick summary. If you don't know, YouTube is also paying creators way less money. So it's the best time to support your favorite creator, or your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever I am. Up to you guys. I won't take offense. But a great way to support me is not through donations, but instead, I don't really like donations. I don't know why. It just makes me feel weird. Instead, getting something for yourself. I actually have a big sponsorship with IPVanish, and I get a nice little kickback every time you guys purchase from it. And the best part is you also get a really good service for purchasing it through my link right down below. You also get a pretty fat discount here where you're going to get over 83% off. And their brand new plans come with 3 gigabytes of eSIM data that you can use at any time. And yeah, it's just an extra bonus on the VPN. It's the same price, $2 a month total. And both the 2-year and the yearly plan come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're subscribed to my channel, it's a perfect combo because I teach you guys how to use your VPN with a bunch of different ways, whether it's unlocking Netflix or accessing content outside of your country or getting cheaper prices on streaming services. I teach you that. So you're going to get the most value. And if you watch my channel, it's important you have it for my other videos. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.